All right, so up next we have a second panel interview, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Brother Mingjing, who is going to host this panel interview, and this is all going to be about disaster preparedness.
Hello, good morning. Still early in the morning. Since it's in the Silicon Valley, I use the high-tech teleprompter. High-tech. Yes, paper. Yeah, my name is Mingjing Xie. I am the Deputy Executive Director for慈济Northwest Region. I just recently retired from the Executive Director and being promoted to become MC and facilitator today. Yes, and I hope you all enjoy. This session, this panel session is about disaster preparedness. And we have so many wonderful friends and partners here to share with all of us about disaster preparedness. We are going to learn the different agencies, their services, their advice, and even a lot of great information they are going to share with us. And without further ado, I would like to introduce the first speaker, our longtime friend, CEO of American Red Cross Silicon Valley chapter. And Ken, let's welcome Ken Toran. Ken.
So I'm Ken Turin. I'm the CEO of Red Cross Silicon Valley. We're actually located pretty much right, like 5 minutes from here, not even. Our mission is very, very clear, and that's prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. There we go. We have 5 lines of service. Humanitarian, which is our disaster services, which I'll talk about in a minute. Blood services, we collect 40% of the nation's blood. Preparedness, health, and safety training. So first aid, CPR, AED classes, etc. for consumers, for companies, for organizations, for schools. International services, so we work with various international organizations associated with Red Cross, chapters of Red Cross, federations of Red Crosses. So wherever the international emergencies or incidents happen, we are there, and we are completely neutral. We just help people in need. And we started 140 years ago. Clara Barton was the founder of Red Cross as a nurse, and she served the armed forces, U.S. Armed Forces, and still to this day we have a very strong presence with services to armed forces. I want to just talk a little bit about some of the things we do. We're very metric oriented, and the statistics are really very incredible. 20,000 people are assisted by Red Cross every single day. As I mentioned, we collect 40% of the nation's blood. And 95% of our workforce is volunteers. So when you hear about all the various emergencies we're responding to and the people that are helping them at shelters, 95% of those people are volunteers. So we have an extremely generous volunteer force. 90 cents of every dollar supports humanitarian services, so we're a very financially responsible organization. Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And one single donation of blood can save 3 lives. Raise your hand if you give blood. Well, we're going to change that because Tzu Chi is having a blood drive, I believe, in May. So hopefully you'll turn out for that. And every 8 seconds we respond to emergency. I'm sorry, I'm flipping too quickly. One of the things that I want to mention about Tzu Chi is we have a saying kind of at Red Cross Silicon Valley with our board and our volunteers is give, get, do. So give something, get other people to help, and do something. Those 3 words, in my opinion, define Tzu Chi in every way. And you see the number 200. So we respond to 2 home fires every week in Silicon Valley. That's the fire department brings us in, and we respond accordingly. We have a program called Sound the Alarm. And Tzu Chi has been just phenomenal in support of that program, where we go into vulnerable communities, a lot of mobile home parks in San Jose, and we literally install free smoke alarms in people's homes. Last week, Mayor Mahan, San Jose Fire Department, Councilmember Biandone were present for our Sound the Alarm effort. We've had one in Mountain View not that long ago, and Tzu Chi is just terrific, and they bring the youth, and I understand the youth love to install the alarms, they love to meet the people, and they love the lunches that we bring as well. Tzu Chi also, when we had the shelters, the floods last year, various atmospheric storms, Tzu Chi was there. Ming Chi called me and said, what can I do? And he brought boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of blankets. We had a lot of blankets, but we needed them because people were coming, homeless, unhoused people were coming to our shelters and needed those blankets because they were literally coming with nothing. So we're very proud of our relationship with Tzu Chi, and I'm so glad that you're doing a blood drive, and I'm so wonderfully proud and impressed by the volunteerism that you demonstrate in the community and how you help us. And everybody asks, how can you help? So you can give blood, you can volunteer, you can donate funds, you can host a blood drive, which you're doing, and you can get trained. And my information is there. So visit us at Red Cross Silicon Valley, which we're very close by. And I'm very happy to be here today, and I applaud you for doing this wonderful event, and thank you for inviting us.
Thank you, Ken, for a great presentation. Next time, I'm going to give you more time next time. The next speaker would be Marcia Harvey. Marcia is the Executive Director of CADRI, which is the Santa Clara County Board. Besides the Executive Director, Marcia is a certified emergency manager involved with public safety and community for over 40 years. Let's welcome Marcia. Thank you.
Thank you, Minjing. I have a couple of slides. Listening to everyone, there are other things that I want to say, so I'm going to try to fit it all in 5 minutes. If the biggest earthquake that you've ever experienced happened right now, what do? You do not run. You protect your head, because drop, cover, and hold on is the safest thing to do in this situation. You don't have a table or something to get under, so you want to put your head underneath the chair. Okay, but running will hurt more people than the earthquake will. So you want to make sure that you protect yourself until the shaking stops, then make sure it's safe to walk out, find the safest way to get out of the building, and then help anyone that might be injured. Okay? So that's just one thing. And then the other is that earlier Nancy mentioned about freezing in a disaster because you don't know what to do. The reason that happens, you can't control it, is that there's a little gland in the base of your brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is your fight or flight reflex. And when you freeze, it's because you don't know what to do, and your amygdala is going to check your brain for the answer. If you haven't thought about it ahead of time, you don't have an answer. You'll stay frozen. So the more that you learn and put in your head, even if you don't have supplies, the more you put in your head, the better you're going to be, the more resilient you'll be, okay? So now I have to go really fast. Okay, so real quick, how many of you have downloaded the My Shake app that tells you that an earthquake is coming before the ground starts to shake? How many have that? I have a few. Okay, you all should have it. I have a QR code at my booth outside, and you can come and talk to me some more, because a lot of you I've never talked to before, probably because I don't speak Cantonese or Mandarin. I apologize for that, because Cadre, as the organization in Santa Clara County that works with nonprofits and faith community after disaster, we bring everyone together to make sure that you have the right information to support the community. Before disaster, we try to do outreach and training. We don't have anyone that speaks Cantonese or Mandarin, so it's just me at the booth, and I'm sorry for that. We really believe that we've done a terrible job across the nation and in Santa Clara County of reaching out to people that speak English as a second language and really giving you the information that you need. So we do have information translated, but it's not enough, and we need to work more because we want everyone to be safe. My Shake app tells you before the ground shakes that it's about to shake. Maybe 10 seconds, maybe a minute. It depends on how far away from the epicenter you are. And so you need it so that even if it's 10 seconds, if you're on a ladder, if you're on a roof, if you're next to a big window, it gives you a moment to protect yourself, drop, cover, and hold on before the ground starts to shake, okay? That's because now you're not surprised when it happens. You already are down. You're already thinking of all the things that you've put in your head. Oh, the other thing, so we have, okay, it's just going to skip slides. There. On the Cadre website, there are links. There's a page called the Earthquake page. When you go there, it has language, 20 languages. And you can go there and watch a video on what to do if you're at home when there's an earthquake to keep yourself safe, how to turn off gas, how to use a fire extinguisher, how to protect yourself. So I encourage you to watch that video. And then I think the last part is not even that important. So, and I have about 30 seconds left, so I just wanted to let you know that okay. The way Cadre is organized is that we identify everyone in the community, and this is just some of the 20 different areas of interest that we want everyone that's interested in that area, that has a nonprofit, a faith community, a business, to come and be part of the conversation so that we are more resilient when a disaster happens and we can plan ahead before we need you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Masha, for such a great information. Next, we'd like to invite Nancy Liu back again, focusing on disaster preparedness. Thank you, Nancy, again.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm back. There's just so much to talk about, and I want to share with you about disaster preparedness. So just imagine if an earthquake's happening right now. There are power outages, cell phone reception fading, and perhaps transportation is severely interrupted. How fast can you escape? Think about that. Could you evacuate your house safely? Can you escape in 10 minutes? Are you going to be able to think about where your children are, your parents, where your loved ones? Okay? Who can escape in 10 minutes and not getting hurt? Do you think you can survive a disaster without electricity for 5 days? Is it possible? Okay? So, let me go back. My slide's skipping pretty quickly here. Okay. Now, how can you survive without these? Whoops, one more time. All right, so did you know that without electricity, you can't even pump gas at any gas station? They all run on electricity. What about what's the most important thing that you need in a disaster? Think about it. Water, absolutely. Dang, this crowd is good. How many people have water at home to last you 5 days, maybe 2 or 3 days? 5 days, 10 days? You're good. Man, this is cool. So a lot of people don't think about what they're going to do. You get stuck at home. Be creative. Think out the box. Think of that water heater tank. It's 40 gallons. In the case of emergency, use it, okay? What about emergency broadcasts? Do you have a portable radio? And where is it in case of emergency? Does anybody have that ready? Thank you. One out of the whole crowd. That's pretty darn good. Okay, give you an answer. Give a big hint. It's your car. Yes. It's in the car, your car radio. It is your portable radio. Don't forget that. For those of us who have medicines, you're going to be able to pack enough, quick enough, and pack enough medicine to last a few days. What about medicine that needs refrigeration? How are you going to handle that? So prepare in advance, okay? Now, do you have earthquake supplies to last until help arrives? What about after that, there's no way of knowing when or will help will ever come the next few days? Sometimes it comes 5 days, 10 days, we don't know, okay? And what if your safety really depends on extended days of being of having to survive without any help? So the next one I'm going to talk about is how you're going to communicate with your family. How are you going to get your family together? How are you going to contact your family if they're missing? So again, we need to think out of the box. Try to, instead of calling them like we used to, text them, send text messages. Text messages use so much less bandwidth on the cell network, and it's highly likely that they'll go through. It may take a little bit of time, okay? When you're in a big box store, there's stuff all over. Go to the center of the building where there's good clearance so that you'll be safe. Think quickly. You have to think quick enough. It's just a difference between injuries and no injuries, okay? I hope by now I have convinced you to think about prepared supplies. And if you're not prepared at this point, we do have a table out there with people with volunteers speaking Chinese and English. They'll help you get started. They'll help you answer questions. So do check us out, okay? And also do consider getting CERT trained soon. Just so you know, CERT training is free. Costs you nothing, but you gain a lot of knowledge, okay? So this is a chart to show you. Come on. Okay, this is the chart that we have, and we have a lot printed out. You may be able to, you should be able to get a copy of that to take home to help you guide you through so that you can get your emergency supplies ready, okay? So, now in summary, what is CERT? CERTs are us, could be you, okay? We are neighbors helping neighbors with some training. We can save lives and protect property. We're only second responders that can help to a certain degree until emergency services personnel arrive that could help you. I can't emphasize enough that properly preparing for disaster will save lives and speed up recovery, okay? With that in mind, please be safe and be prepared. Thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you again, Nancy.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful presentation. Next, we have a special brother who just flew to here last night from Washington, D.C. And he is Masha Xiao, Cai Senlun. And he is the Tzu Chi Foundation Director of JS6R Technology. I don't know what that is about. But he's going to share with you very, very special inventions that he just did recently. Brother Masha, your turn. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marshall. I'm a Jingsi or Tzu Chi pure practitioner. In Mandarin, we call it Qing Shou Si. What is a Qing Shou Si or pure practitioner is that we devote our life in Tzu Chi or Jingsi mission. And we don't want to get married, so we can devote ourselves in the mission. Okay, during the most recent earthquake in Taiwan, I think what have we done or what we did during the earthquake? Well, I have to be honest, I did not do anything else during that earthquake because I'm in the south of Taiwan. But there is something really, really important is that we did something, we developed a product that we actually use in this earthquake. And all the media actually give us a thumbs up of it. So, what is that all about? So, I want to share in this slide. I think it's really important is that we have to get ready or we have to do something before or anything that could happen. Okay. Okay. Next page, yeah. Next one, please. First of all, we develop what we call the Jingsi pop-up cubicle. It's a cubicle which is can be assembled in just merely a few seconds. This is to give, disaster. In the shelter house, we provide this shelter. Pop-up shelter is to provide more empowerment, to give more privacy to the people in need. So this pop-up shelter is composed of 2 foldable bed with foldable table and chair. And now we have very new mosquito nets. And we also have the foldable and movable locker, something like that. Can we go to the next page, please? Okay. Okay. Our mosquito net is actually made from 29 recycled PET bottles. And it actually can repel mosquito from coming closer because we've used European and American standard of natural insect propellant, something like that. So apart from that, you can see the partition tent is actually, the pop-up cubicle is made from 280 recycled PET bottles, which we have been using during this disaster. Okay, next page. So I think during this, this is the new product that we haven't really fenxiang or we haven't really showed up to everyone, which is the, what do you call this? Jingsi storage box. You can, what is this storage box? First of all, this is a foldable, very light in weight. You can see if you fold it, it's very flat pack, it's very compact. While if you open it, there's a wheel that you can travel around. Well, first of all, we provide all the basic necessities for 3 days or 5 days, immediate response or emergency use. All your personal stuff, we have actually prepared it for you. For example, during the shelter unit system, we get this ready. So during in the disaster relief time, we provide every single person one of these storage box, which you can bring around. Then if you put it in your cubicle unit, then you have all your personal things with you in there, including anything that you can say, okay? And well, this is something important that you can stack it up vertically and horizontally. Well, you can see it becomes, it's like, how do you say that? Closet. It could be a cabinet for a kitchen, for a closet, and whatever. So this is a multi-purpose. So at the back, you can see the blue and gray thing is the pop-up cubicle. This is something like a very, very small single room. You can provide 2 bed or single bed. It's like a mobile room unit. This could provide more privacy, more empowerment, more space to the person in need. And basically, we provide all the basic furniture unit like bed, table, chair, and now the cabinet, and also the mosquito net. And everything, they are made from recycled plastic. Well, first of all, I think, even though I did not do anything during this earthquake, but we always get ourselves ready. So before this earthquake, we actually learned from the previous one. So we developed this pop-up cubicle to give more empowerment, to give more privacy to all and everyone in need. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Marsha. I think during the lunchtime we can go to the booth. They have demo units that you can see what his new invention is all about. Last but not the least, we are so happy to invite Monisha Avery from KOES. Monisha is the Chief Equity Officer of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Service. And I think she's going to talk about Listos, I suppose, maybe. And that's all about what we are doing today. And thank you, Monisha. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I don't have slides. I don't even have paper. Thank you for telling me what you would like me to hear me talk about, because I was probably just going to go on about myself. No, I wasn't. I would like to say, though, I am so honored to be here. I am the Chief Equity Officer for California Governor's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And as much as we would love to think that we always serve all of California, I think COVID was a very good example of how we really missed the boat on being able to reach all the populations of people that live here in California. And so one of the things that my office does is we are looking at all of our programs and services to be able to help them to be more equitable. And the Listos California program is just one of the programs that is at Cal OES, but also that I am responsible for. And I have to say that a little bit biased, but I believe it's probably one of the most important programs that we have at Cal OES, because we provide grant money to community-based organizations to be able to do the great work like you see here for this family safety event. This is exactly what we would like to see happen, is that the message is coming from the community to their community in a way that is respectful, understandable, and can be received, because we know that a lot of times hearing a message from the government is not always welcomed. And so I am so proud to be a part of a program that is actually reaching out and developing relationships in our communities here in California to be able to serve everybody. I was asked to talk about Listos, so I will say that the Listos California program has just been every year. It started during COVID, and it handed out information regarding the vaccinations and making sure that folks were getting vaccinated. But it was so successful in reaching millions of people that it was continued by the governor. It became something that he was very passionate about, being able to use reaching out to communities directly versus the messaging that typically comes out of Cal OES. And so we have, since COVID, really just tried to approach every disaster that California has. And if you've been in California in the last couple years, you know that we seem like we have disaster after disasters. At one point, we had like over 100 wildfires going on at the same time. Luckily, Cal OES is actually renowned for its ability to respond to disasters. We go all over the place. I think most recently to Hawaii. They've gone to Puerto Rico. Just they go everywhere where they're asked, and it's just because they have taken it down to a science, being able to respond. But again, that technical part of the response, perfect. Being able to listen and hear what's going on in the community is where we're trying to further develop. And so Listos California provides a number of resources in any language that is spoken here in California, including non-written languages. We actually have created resources now that are meant for folks who speak indigenous languages, like Mixteco, that doesn't actually have a written language. And we're getting recordings done so that they can also hear the message in words that they would understand. And our Listos California has been doing this for, I think now this is the 4th year in which we have provided grant money to community-based organizations, such as Suchi, and I really hope I'm saying this correctly. I mean no disrespect whatsoever. to be able to take those our resources that we have that talk about preparedness, that helps people to understand how the importance of having like a go bag, which you'll probably hear about from people from the VOAD, maybe Red Cross, and CERT certainly speaks about go bags, which are what you do to prepare, what you have at the ready at home, whether it's or in your car. Those information and those resources that if there were, like we had examples, an earthquake, the flood, whatever, wildfires, that you could quickly be able to have those very important, necessary items with you. And we talk about how to bring, how to pull those together, how to make a plan, how to talk to your family members, how to talk to neighbors and make those kind of connections. And, we think about when we're asked the question, like, what's important? What do you need to have? Everyone knew, oh, yeah, we need to have water. And it is a lot of common sense. But also, I think what you have heard also is that during the disaster, there's this trauma. And so you're not actually always thinking most logically. And so having to practice these, having to have that information already stored in your brain to know what you need to do is what we're trying to help folks to be able to prepare for. And I do see my time is up too. I thought for sure I was going to make it because I didn't have slides. I wasn't going to have any technical problems, but there we go. So thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to talk to me.
Thank you, Manisha. Yeah. So this year I learned a Spanish word, listos. Yes, listos. Get ready and be safe. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, I just want to jump to the conclusion right away. Can I have the conclusion slide up, please? Thank you. I really want to say it's a wonderful presentation, condensing so much information in this short time frame. But overall, I think the message is very clear. Be prepared all the time. Be prepared all the time. The disaster can happen anytime, any place. Can you move the slide on, please? Thank you. And also, important thing is to learn and also to participate and take action. Don't just talk and listen. Take the action is very important. And then I think if you don't remember anything, remember to install a very, very important apps. What is that? Great. Remember to install that. I think the session is full of a lot of message, information, devices. I want to thank you again for the great presenters today in this panel. And thank you again. And hopefully we have time to go to the booth, have more time to chat with those experts. Thank you. Let's give them a big applause of round. Now I want to hand my time back to Sister Jin. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mingjing, for coordinating this very informative panel discussion. Thank you, and you may return to your seat.